Hi there, this is Just Nigeria. Coming up on the program, human trafficking. Victims share nightmarish experiences as Nigeria's modern-day slavery profile continues to rise globally. Also, university strike. The students presses ASU president for answers over lingering disruption to her studies. Plus, food security. Global shortage of fertilizer drives high food prices in Africa. And
my name is Hanson Johnson. Check me out.
The innovator creating ICT opportunities in Nigeria's Niger Delta. Welcome to Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels Television, where we bring you stories making the rounds on social media. I'm Annetta Felix. Let's start with our top story. With biting economic realities, many young Nigerians are seeking greener pastures elsewhere, whether within or outside the country. But sometimes, while making this move, some fall victims of human traffickers. In this report, Just Nigeria's Wale Fakile speaks with victims and explains how you can avoid falling into the same trap.
The grass, it's often said, is not always greener on the other side. An age-long saying many Nigerians would give an arm and leg to disprove. From social media to the streets, the search for the proverbial golden goose abroad is telling.
In this country, inside it, there is no opportunity. So having the opportunity to go out, travel out, is a mighty opportunity.
Things are not just working. So if I have an opportunity, I'll quickly relocate with my family.
If not for anything, at least just to go there and see how things look over there, so that I will be able to compare clothes.
There are more opportunities out there than this country.
I'm going to leave because there's no any hope of being a footballer in this country like this.
A 2021 survey shows that more than 7 in 10 Nigerians would relocate abroad if they had the means. The study by independent opinion research think tank Africa Polling Institute indicates that this is a 41% increase from citizens who were hoping to emigrate in 2019. But underneath this frantic hunt for greener pastures overseas are harrowing stories of horror. This woman, whose identity we've concealed, was trafficked to Libya. She was tricked to take the dangerous journey by her elder brother. She describes her experience as nightmarish.
My elder brother threatened to sell me off if I refused to work. I initially worked with 3 different bosses without pay before he took me to another person. We were robbed while working with the new boss, and we were later arrested and imprisoned for 4 months before I returned to Nigeria.
This woman's ordeal is no different. She was promised a better life in Malaysia, but was shipped to Mali for prostitution. We have hidden her identity to protect her.
The madam said she bought me for 500,000 naira. And I have to repay the sum of 1.5 million naira. She also said I had to prostitute to make money to build the makeshift shack I live.
It's the same tale of terror for hundreds of other Nigerian men and women trafficked and trapped overseas. These stories underpin how much of a challenge human trafficking is for Nigeria. The menace, a form of modern-day slavery, involves the illegal trade of people for exploitation or commercial gain. Nigeria remains a source, transit, and destination for the $150 billion industry. The country ranks 32 out of 167 of the countries with the highest number of modern-day slaves. However, the total number of Nigerians trafficked externally is largely unknown.
Human trafficking in Nigeria is not a problem, ladies and gentlemen. It is a national crisis, as the volume is enormous and widespread.
They sell them to people people who need their services, because some of them are used for domestic services. While some, these days there's this increase of issue of organ harvesting now. It has been in existence, but we have been taking it for granted, but it's becoming exposed now, and it's becoming popular that people are being sold to for different reasons, So exploitation is high. They use them for serious exploitation.
But external trafficking is just a fraction of the problem. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, says Nigeria has more cases of internal trafficking. The agency says 83% of trafficking in Nigeria happens within states, within communities, and across state lines, while only 12% accounts for trans-border trafficking.
Because attention is usually spotlighted on external trafficking, it creates the impression that we have more of external trafficking going on in Nigeria. The purpose of internal trafficking is usually for sexual exploitation, domestic servitude, forced labor, debt bondage, child labor, illegal adoption, and buying and selling of human beings.
The factors fueling both internal and external trafficking are similar. Lack of economic opportunities and promises of a better life away from home are some of the key drivers. Traffickers use these factors as a launch pad to lure victims through an array of methods.
Trends in human trafficking include orphanage trafficking. This is where orphanages recruit children to their homes to attract donations from unsuspecting members of the public and also good, willing organizations. We have baby factories. We have the use of victims for other crimes, like victims of human trafficking are sometimes also used to traffic drugs. We have a new emerging trend called QNet or Q-Link, and this is where mostly young boys are trafficked for the sole purpose of committing online fraud. We have illegal adoption, we have what they call cryptic pregnancy, then of course we have buying and selling of children.
Inflation and unemployment rate in Nigeria stand at double digits, pushing many people under the poverty line. Insecurity is also at an all-time high, with news of kidnappings and terror attacks part of daily life. Given these socio-economic indices, immigration will continue to be attractive for many. But then are the red flags to look out for, and what are the right channels when trying to migrate?
Reach out to the Federal Ministry of Labor within the states, and also to reach out to NAPTIP as well, and also the NIS as well when it comes to the travel modalities. But just to make sure that they're doing their due diligence, we also have a Wale website where we've also provided this information. When people talk about, I'm going to help you get an opportunity in Europe, I'm going to help you get an opportunity in Germany, I'm going to help you get an opportunity in Britain, that right there should already be an issue of concern. Or somebody talking about traveling by road. So these are some of the information we hear from the victims of trafficking who we've assisted.
For those who have been trafficked either internally or externally, NAPTIP says help is available.
We now have a 24/7 call center and a launch of the 627 short code. And between September 2021 to May 5th, 2022, the center has received a total of 1,739 calls. So basically, this is just one of our reporting channels. We have other reporting channels. So besides the call center, people send us email. They also can contact us via our various social media handles.
Human trafficking is a global challenge, and Nigeria is not exempted. While Nigerian authorities ramp up measures to curb the problem, intending immigrants owe themselves the duty of care not to fall into the wrong hands. Wale Fakile, Gist Nigeria.
Research phenomenon. Join this conversation on Twitter at Gist Nigeria TV and let's hear your view.